So we could have a few more people that are walking in, but I wanted to just start and say thank you for coming to the Mount Westonka High School today. Thank you for hearing more about the Westonka School District. My name is Kevin Borg. I'm very proud to be the superintendent of the Westonka Public Schools. And really, our goal today is just really to make this convenient for you as parents. Offer a meal, offer childcare, have our different levels of building and district leadership here to do a presentation on the school district. And then afterwards, we're going to be available for questions where you can approach any of us with different questions that you have. After tonight, we have our open houses and our roundups and different ways that you can register that will communicate all those dates and times with you. But today is really an opportunity for you to hear about the full spectrum of the Westonka School District and hear about our schools. For a lot of you, this is probably your first time that you've been able to sit today, so if nothing else, enjoy it. Relax, just take a little bit of time for yourself. Choosing your kid's school district is an important decision, and just choosing a school district is important. And I think back to when I started here at Westonka, and for me, it goes back to '97. Now, I've been in this role for 19 years as a school superintendent, but I actually came here in '97 as a geography teacher. And my research was far different than yours. My research was, at the time, I was dating Jill, and she was teaching at Maple Lake. And my goal was, I wanted to get married, which required me to get a job in the city so I could propose to her. And so, what you see in this picture is August workshop. I got the job, and in my right pocket there's an engagement ring. And no, I did not propose at Grandview Middle School, but we went to Nuremberg Park and proposed to Jill. 28 years later, Jill has been teaching kindergarten at Hilltop. But the reason why I show you this picture is now fast forward to today, and my youngest, Anna, got her senior picture on that same bench. And what I would share with you is I came here for a job, and I found a home. And I tell you that Westonka is an incredible place to call home. We talk a lot about the big school, small school advantage, big school opportunities. And small school advantage, what that means to us is that we're small enough that not only do we get to know your child by name, we work with you on how we can best educate your child. Yet we're big enough that we have a lot of the opportunities that a larger district would have. And when we look at different districts and we look at our social media of our district, you're going to see pictures over the years of how people have defined what is their small school advantage. And you're going to notice through these pictures that different kids have different interests. They have different abilities. Their families have different goals. And our job is to work with you on families that those are realized, that they have the opportunities that they're looking for, not just at school, but after they graduate. Now, when you look at these pictures, we have Maeve off to your right. Maeve was born with Down syndrome. She goes to our church. She attended Westonka. Her goal after she graduated here from Westonka, she wanted to be in the U of M's marching band to twirl flag. She accomplished that this fall. You look at my neighbor, Jack Markstrom there, he's coming in on the 400. Jack set an all-time state record in the 400, just over 48 seconds here this spring. And when he was a young kid, these were things he worked on. And then you look at this robotics squad. We used to not have robotics at Westonka. And we had a group of parents that said we really should offer that at Westonka. We have a great advisor here. We had an alumni that was part of the robotics program at the U of M. They all worked together. This past year, not only did they win state, but they went on to world. The small school advantage is, one, we have pay attention and we work with families so you can define what is your goals for your kids. But we also work together to give those opportunities to all kids that attend here. Now, when we go through Westonka, we really feel where we have an edge is it starts with the team that we have around us. And one thing that I'm really proud of at Westonka is we're not a pass-through, we're a destination for people to work. 83% of my team has been here for over 10 years. This is a place that they've called home. We look at our educators, and 77% of them have advanced degrees. And to boot, we have really smart kids. We look at multiple different areas where we're rated or compared or ranked. And I don't care which one you use, you're going to see that your building or the district's going to be ranked really highly in the state. You're going to look at our financials, and it's not a short run, it's a long run where there's been great stability in our district. And so if you want to look at the Department of Education, if you want to look at our audits, if you want to look at our bond rating, if you want to look at how we're able to invest in programming, a lot of stability with financials. We look at our community support, and this community is rallied around our school district. They like our staff, they like our small size, and it really feels like community here. And with that, when we just recently did a survey, 95% said good to excellent on the quality of education you receive here at Westonka. What that equates to is the community gets behind your schools. And since 2007, and you can see there's a number of questions on levies, on bonds, on capital project levies, our community has rallied around the school and passed these questions so our kids have had these opportunities. And some of these were large asks. We take this last year, and our community got around us on a $93.4 million bond, where we addressed safety, maintenance, and a redesign of this high school. And what that means for our kids is that when we look at a building, and this is an example of Shirley Hills, with the touch of a button, we're able to secure our building so that someone doesn't have full access of it. It allows us to have shatter-resistant glass and door alerts so that they can't be propped open. At Grandview Middle School, we're moving the office towards the entrance, and we're renovating the media center and their small gym. But the big change, and why you're here, is you're going to see a major overhaul of this building. Now, when you walked up to the high school today, sometimes when you walk up that courtyard, you just start walking and you say, I hope eventually one of these doors are going to lead to the entrance, but you're not quite sure where that's going. It's going to be very clear where our entrance is now, and it'll be a secured entrance. We look at the opportunities for our kids, and it's taking a room like this. We had our centennial, where we had people from each decade, and these rooms looked similar to same to them. And when you look at what we're going to be able to do to a room like the little theater, we're going to make it multifunctional. We're going to update it so it is current with technology. But rooms like this, what you're going to see here, we're going to be adding natural light all over this building. And so we're really excited about the opportunities and the renovation that's ahead of us. We're going to be able to have appropriate sized classrooms for our students. We're offering new programs like nursing, like machining and robotics. And we're going to have opportunities of school pride where we're really going to be able to renovate the space. What's exciting about a lot of the ages of your kids, they won't know anything different. That's the way the high school always was. But for us that have worked here a long time, this is really exciting. And what's exciting about it is how our community rallied around our kids and our staff to extend those opportunities for them. So today we have our different principals that are going to come up here and share a little bit about their programs. But where it really comes to for me is we want to know, what is the small school advantage that you want? What are your goals for your child? And one thing that I think we do well is that we don't just listen, we engage with families. Due to that effort, along with being big enough that there's a lot of opportunities, or we're able to work with families to put together things like that robotics team and offer great programming for our kids. And so first up, we have our two primary principals, Scott and Mike. They're going to come up and talk about Hilltop and Shirley Hills. Please give Mike and Scott a round of applause.
Well, thank you. And thanks for the round of applause. That's very nice.
Want me to stand on this side?
Go
He always
ahead.
used to tell you what to do.
I do tell them what to do. My name is Mike Mock. I'm the principal at Hilltop Primary School. We are a K through 4 school.
Yeah, and I'm Scott Isis. I'm principal at Shirley Hills. I've been there since my 12th year now, and 11th year, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I have a unique situation as well because I first started out teaching at the high school, and I was there for 6 years or so, dean of students at the middle school here. Then I left, went to a larger district in the south of the cities, and then came back to be principal here at our elementary. And so we have 3 kids each. All of our kids, we've always lived here, have grown up and went through our system as well. Ready to go to the next slide? All right.
All right. Well, as Kevin mentioned, we are really, really proud of the work that we do in starting all the way in kindergarten when they walk in the door. We've had some really awesome success stories when it comes to our academics. Our students are very focused on when they begin as kindergartners. We have phonics programs that help to build them as readers. And by the time they move into 3rd grade, the first time that they're taking a statewide assessment, which is really just one measure that we use as part of the growth of the students, we have really outstanding results year after year after year for our students. And this year, our 3rd grade, we were number one in the state in both reading and math, which is really awesome. And we love to share that news. Our schools are blue ribbon schools, which to be able to qualify for that, you have to have strong academics and a strong community. And so both schools were honored with that, so we love to share that news with everybody too. One thing that we love to share, because we think about parents when they walk through and they ask questions about our school, like what makes you unique, what makes you different than other schools that are in the area. And so we love to actually talk about our environmental education because we partner with Three Rivers Park District, where a naturalist comes out to our schools every Friday. They work with the students, and then kind of the culminating experience for them is we head off to Wolf Ridge as a 4th grade group. And some of you are like, oh, I think I've been to Wolf Ridge before. And others are like, well, what is that? But it's a trip that we take in northern Minnesota. We're actually pretty lucky. We get to go the same week now. Shirley Hills and Hilltop go together as a group. So we have an opportunity just to kind of introduce the students together before they make their big transition up to Grandview Middle School in 5th grade. So we love the opportunities that we give our students, and there's a lot of great, unique things that go with each school.
Yeah. And Mike shared, we have tremendous test scores, and we love that. But that's a measurement, that's a result, right? And I've been a coach most of my life, and we're focused on the process, right? What do we do day in and day out? What does our staff do day in and day out? What are our kids doing every day in and day out, to get the best out of them and to help them fulfill their absolute best? And some of our small school advantages, highly qualified teaching staff, Kevin talked about that as well. Mike and I and all our staff, all our administrators, we really have the best seats in the house. We have amazing teachers. We get to go into their classrooms every single day, see the connections, see the work that they're accomplishing with their kiddos, see the excitement that the kids have, right? That's what's the beauty of elementary school. They love school still. They love it at other levels as well, but boy, they love school in elementary, and it's just so fun to see that. Our teachers love that. And as you're proving, and we're a school of choice as well, or a district of choice, but we also, that plays a double role in that we're also schools and a district of choice for educators. We'll have a 1st grade, a 2nd grade, or 3rd grade opening, and I have colleagues and friends of mine from other districts, so they're happy to get a dozen candidates or 20 candidates. We get 100, 150, 200 applicants for our positions with 25 years experience, obviously down to new teachers. And so we really are blessed with that, and educators want to come to our district as well. We truly invest in our small class sizes. Our superintendent and our school board has made that an emphasis at our elementaries for sure. Student and staff connection is a priority. You all know this. We know this. It's not a surprise. There's lots of research out there. What has the greatest impact on learning, right? It's connection. It's connection to your teachers, connection to adults, a safe learning environment, a place that kids want to go to school and feel good about being there. And that's a priority, something we live each and every day with our staff. We've invested in community. We know those test scores aren't just a result of us. We have pretty great ingredients that are sent to us as well. Our families are pretty amazing. And we're lucky to partner with the group. And One example of that is our PTA. They truly support us. They raise thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to enhance the experience for our kids in our schools and enhance the teaching experience for our staff as well. Some things that are common for both of our schools, our basic, how would you want to say it, our building block for how we interact with people is SOAR. It's positive behavior interventions and supports. It's really truly about being positive, teaching proactively the expectations for every space in our building, right? And so our kids will go around and we'll be in the cafeteria, we'll be in the classrooms, obviously hallways, and we're teaching what does SOAR look like: safe, own it, achieve, and respect. And if you do choose our schools or you're here already, I apologize in advance. You'll hear SOAR probably ad nauseum from us because we send the matrix home. You can make your own SOAR matrix. What does it look like to go to bed at night, right? So we've got lots of things that we do with SOAR, but it's our basic building block for how we interact with each other. We also want to support our kiddos in every level that we have. If our kiddos are needing extra intervention, we have an entire multi-tiered system of support for Tier 1 interventions, Tier 2 interventions, Tier 3 interventions. What do they look like? Also gifted and talented. We have great opportunities for our 3rd and 4th grade levels in math and in reading as well. And then, of course, specialized services. We pride ourselves on offering those individual education plans and really tailor-making the experience for kiddos who really need that extra help and support. Well, go ahead.
Scott talks a lot at times.
Period.
Yeah, just kidding. He's doing a great job. We love our buildings, and honestly, we love to have fun too. And Scott and I work together truly on everything we do, building community, being a part of our PTAs. Our staff work together, they train together. We have the same mission. So whether you're choosing Shirley Hills or Hilltop, you're pretty lucky. I always say my kids went to Shirley Hills. I'm the principal at Hilltop, and I've gotten to be in part of all the schools with my kids' experience. So I've had the best of all the worlds. And you know, we look at these little pictures right here, and this is generally what we wear every day. So, if your kids aren't having fun at our schools, if they're not having fun with us, I'm not sure what they are.
What's going to do it for you? And last but not least, we're living this model. And also, this is what happens when you have the oldest person take a selfie. You get the forehead in the picture. But either way, these are our kids. This is us living out this small school advantages. We are so fortunate. Number one, obviously, to work in this district. We love the work that we have in front of us. We also love the experience that our kids have to be at our middle school and our high school. And their future is in front of them. They have every door still open to them. It's really pretty an awesome place to be. Anything else? All right, thanks.
We are going to invite Mrs. Zacco to come up to tell you a little bit about Grandview.
Do you guys want to finish up with the...
Oh, yeah, I didn't know it was added in.
That was a surprise. Like, come visit us in a few months.
Yeah.
Add those to your calendar. Hello, everyone. My name is Christy Zacco. I'm the principal at Grandview. I'm really proud to be the principal here. For me, it's been also 18 years that I've been the principal, and Kevin gave me a lousy 5 minutes. They got 10. I get 5. To tell you everything about Grandview that I'm super proud of. And so, brevity is not my strong suit, but fast talking is. So you're going to get a lot of information really fast. We have some things that we're really proud of this year too. Kevin shared some of those successes, but at Grandview we're a 5th, 6th, and 7th grade middle school. So we take 7 MCA tests over the course of the year. And last year our students scored in the top 5 and the top 5 on 6 of the 7 MCAs. And we had number 1 ranking in both 5th grade science and 6th grade math. So again, we're really proud of that, and it's worth highlighting. But as Scott and Mike both alluded to, that's just a little piece of the puzzle of what makes me proud of Grandview. And I'm going to highlight a few of those things that are unique to us and why I'm just really proud of what we've accomplished. So to start, rigorous and engaging curriculum. Every school will tell you about their advanced offerings, and we have that too, but we also have supported offerings for kids. When I say rigorous and engaging, what I mean by that is we meet every kid where they're at, and we really have high expectations for them and support them. And so all kids experience tremendous growth while they're at Grandview. We also have some unique courses that are offered at every middle school, things like Future Cities, Future Problem Solving, our STEM program, our post-secondary skills class as well are something that are unique to us. We also offer 80 minutes of math and language arts every day, all 3 years. And if you're looking at other schools, again, a lot of littles, so this maybe hasn't been something you've looked at, but 80 minutes in middle school is a lot. And we really prioritize making sure those skills are set so they're prepared for higher work in the high school. We also prioritize 21st century skills. Those math computation skills mean nothing if your student doesn't know how to think critically and how to problem solve and communicate clearly. So those are all things that are important to us, integrated across curriculum. Even we call it out on our report cards, so it's that important to us. And post-secondary readiness is something that's also important to us. Our kids start looking at career options already in 5th grade. And as a part of our Ramp Up to Readiness program, they start to think about what kind of education do I need if I want to be an engineer, let's say, or if I want to be a doctor. And we start talking about that now so they can plan their coursework and their life after high school. So it's never too early for them to start thinking about the future. And of course, our talented and experienced teachers, that's been mentioned, so I won't go into that more. Robust student support. So Scott and Mike, the programs that they use at the elementary school, we've just carried those on into the middle school. If you know any middle schoolers, or if you remember that time in your life, you know they can be a little bit of an emotional, social, behavioral nightmare at times. And so just like PBIS at the elementary schools, we know we have to teach them some skills to make sure that they are giving them their best selves every single day. And so we teach that as a part of our PBIS program too. They use SOAR, we call it Pride, because again, they get a lot of it, so we got to change the name a little bit when they get to middle school. But that's something that's, that we are intentional with, and if kids are struggling in those areas, that we are, again, intentional about giving them more personalized and individual support. Our new students, whether you're a new coming into the building 5th grader or brand new to our district, we have additional supports for those students. We have a program called WEB. That stands for Where Everybody Belongs, and it's a way to make sure that they're feeling connected from the first time they step into our school. And academic supports during and after the school day. We have an advisory program. It's called Morning Meeting at Grandview, very typical in middle schools. That's a time where kids can get extra time and support from their teachers. We also have homework club after school every day, free of charge for all of our students. That's run by our teachers, and so kids will always have access to licensed teachers at a time during the day so that they can get support that they need to be their best selves. You can see this picture because it's one of my favorite. The PTA they have at the elementary school, that carries on into the middle school. We have a PTO. That picture are some of our parent volunteers at one of their events, our Halloween party. And so just like they alluded to at the elementary school, parents are really engaged still at middle school. In fact, our joke is that if your kids will let you volunteer and be engaged at school, then we will take you. Sometimes they tend to not want their parents around as much. I know that's going to be shocking for some of you with real littles, but it happens in middle school. But if they'll let you, we'll take you. And so we have fun parties, we have field trips, we have a PTO where they're learning about what's happening at the school, helping to allocate resources. They also are great with helping us fundraise for programming as well. The other piece, I think, with our family connection is just our communication and transparency. So you will hear from me weekly about what's going on at Grandview. All of our teachers keep grade books open 24/7. We have their schedule with their homework online every day. And in fact, unique to us too is that our teachers all post their lessons every day. So when your middle schooler comes home and says, you ask them how their day was, what they do, and they say, I don't know, which is very typical. You can look if you're really interested and see what they did in class and ask them about that. So anything to, again, just make sure we maintain that communication. And last but certainly not least, and again, Mike and Scott did a great job of telling the importance of that positive school culture. I can't say it enough. Safety, connection, engagement, all of those things are so important. You cannot have those results if you don't have a place where kids feel safe and connected going to school every day. And so those are things that we are intentional about. We do professional development on it. We make sure we have programs in place to make sure every student is feeling a part of Grandview. And we recognize them for their achievement and their participation as well. And when I say developmentally responsive, and the kinds of things that get kids to want to engage in middle school, I brought some pictures, just of the kinds of things our middle schoolers are doing. And you're gonna see a lot of fun, because yes, they have to have fun if they're gonna come and be successful. Recess, we still have recess in our middle school, that's unique to us, but we also have a lot of different parties. I think we are winning the Halloween costume, this is ours this year. But we have lots of parties and events with our families and our kids. Extracurriculars start to be a little bit more important in middle school. They start to engage outside of school more. And so if your students are interested in activities, sports, the arts, our play, the musicals coming up, any sorts of clubs, also a really important part of our middle school. And last but not least, are just having an engaging education. You'll see in this picture our students have devices, and we don't talk about that much anymore. We are a one-to-one school, so all of our students have Chromebooks, but we also are really intentional about when to not use them. So our kids aren't in front of a screen all day. You're gonna see some more traditional sorts of things, but also other ways to make sure our kids are engaging inside and outside the classroom. We've also integrated an outdoor classroom, some environmental learning, ways to make education more relevant and fun for our middle schoolers. So I'm pretty sure I was over my 5 minutes, but he gave me one other charge, so I'm going to take one more minute on what the small school advantage means to me. My story is much like everyone else's who was up here. I came to Westonka, as my kids like to say, way back in the 1900s. So in 1999 I came, and I was a Spanish teacher here at the high school across the hall from Scott. And my husband and I got married, and then when we started our family, we had to decide where we were going to put down roots. And it was no question for us. It was going to be Westonka. He grew up in Gaylord, I grew up in St. Peter, both really small towns. We wanted our kids to have a similar experience where, again, people know their name, where they could engage in activities and the arts and whatever it is that was of interest to them. And so fast forward, 20 years later, that is exactly what it's been for them. They've been able to pursue their passions. They're still doing it. My oldest is 20 and out, but my youngest is 10, and so we're still right in the thick of it. And every step along the way, we have felt incredibly supported by whether it was early childhood or adventure club, after school care. At every level, your child is going to feel like they belong and that everyone knows their name. And so for me, over the last 26 years in Westonka, these are some old pictures, but I want to share that some of my best family memories are also Westonka memories. You can see Westonka is all over these pictures. And so for me, if you're looking for a school, just a good school, you can find a good school anywhere, but if you're looking for a place that you can really call home, I think Westonka is that. That's what it is for me, and that's why I'm really proud to be a part of it. So thanks for letting me go over my 5 minutes, and welcome.
So I am Jolene Herfel. I'm the principal here at the high school. I'm very proud to be here. And I would like to make sure all of you are aware that students still have fun coming to high school. They talk about fun in the elementary and the middle school. I'm very proud to stand up here and confidently tell you that our students do absolutely love coming to school. You might have seen it on the way in, but we're constantly talking to our students about their presence mattering at the school, and in the classroom, in the hallways, in the lunchroom, in activities after school. And we have about 95% is our daily attendance rates. Kids do not choose to stay home. They want to come here and enjoy their senior year or their junior year or their freshman, sophomore, or 8th grade year. So very proud to say that. So if you were thinking all the fun is to be had with these guys, it's really amazing, that I would not want to work with anyone other than teenagers, which I know people oftentimes tell me I might be just a little bit off to say that, but there's nothing else I would rather do without question. I don't know, elementary got 10 minutes, Christy got 5 for the middle school, and Kevin told me 2 to 3 minutes. And I'm not that fast of a talker, so I'll do my best. But I do want to, something that's very important to me as a parent, I have a 20-year-old and an 18-year-old, so both of mine are off to college now. But I remember very clearly as a parent, it's very important to me as a parent and also as an administrator, that my children felt connected. That when they left your house in the morning and went to school, and either just for classes during the day or if it was an activity after school, that they felt there was someone at school that was their person. I'm really proud to share, so every few years, the Department of Education asks schools to survey their students, and it's an anonymous survey that all students take. And I'm really proud to share that here at Mount Westonka High School, 96% of our students on that survey report that they feel like they have a strong connection to someone in this building, if not multiple people in this building. That's really important to me as a principal. Our students are probably tired of hearing it. I don't think they're tired of it. Actually, they bought into it because they'll say it back to me. Constantly they are hearing from me, find a home away from home. And I don't care if your home is math league, I don't care if it's basketball, I don't care if it's chemistry, if it's robotics, if it's history. I was a history teacher, I loved history, so I was a little nerdy about history. I don't care what it is, but find your home away from home. And I hear that with students saying that back to us, but that's something we're very passionate about at the high school. Additionally to all of the classes that we have, multiple AP classes, plenty of different opportunities for students. Outside of the classroom at the high school, it gets to be a little more unique where students are developing into that young adult, and they also have more opportunities and more choice. I'm very proud to share that we do have 33 different varsity sports teams. These are just some of the teams over the last calendar year that advanced to state. And something I'm even more proud of is last year alone we had 20 senior athletes that were recognized as academic all-state. Students continue to hear from us the importance of being well-rounded. So whether you are going to be a star in the classroom, a star with an activity after school, it doesn't matter. We want you to be well-rounded and have different experiences. And very proud to share that our students most of our students do multiple things. There are some schools where you kind of have to specialize a little bit. Here that is not the case. Our students are doing multiple things. Oftentimes we're talking to them about maybe you want to back off and not do 6 things right now. It's okay to not do everything. But very proud that our students are very well-rounded and they take that message very seriously. Very proud that we also have 36 different co-curricular activities. Kevin had mentioned the robotics team. Incredibly exciting that they were going down to Texas last year. They were state champions, and then they also went to international or national competition down in Texas. Incredibly proud of them. If you want to really enjoy teenagers, get on a bus with the robotics team right before they're about to do a very long bus ride down to Texas. In the rain, they were so proud and excited though. Just wonderful moments that we're able to have. And just some other things that are mentioned, there are also highly successful programs that we have. In addition to these different kind of structured activities that many schools have, I'm also very proud to say that we have 17 different student-run clubs. Those clubs they're student initiated, they reflect the students' passions, desires, and what they're interested in, and it also is an opportunity for students to build their leadership skills. I have class meetings fairly regularly, and I'll meet in this space, for example, I'll meet with the juniors and say, challenge me and bring ideas to me of what clubs you would like to have. So that's where these come from. So I say 17 hesitantly because there's a good chance someone tomorrow is going to come up to me and say, hey, can I set a meeting with you because I have a club idea. But we're really excited when students come up with those different activities. And those are ones where I say, there's not going to be a coach that's telling you what you need to do. There's not going to be an advisor. I want you as a young adult to really envision what you are passionate about and excited about and create that. And I challenge kids to create it, and we have to help them with this, but create it in a manner that it actually leaves a legacy. I always tell students, if you'll know it was successful, if you hear 5-10 years after you graduate that it's still going on, and there's kids that well beyond you are part of that and having that same experience. So really proud of the different activities that we have. Kevin alluded to these earlier. This is a rendering. We are going to be doing a renovation, as Kevin, as he spoke about. But we're really being mindful to create a school that students want to come to and love being in and feel comfortable in. So he talked about the natural light, but we're also talking about our different spaces. Something I'm incredibly excited about is, as a high school, we're constantly thinking of how do we meet the needs of our students? And that is different. So I started teaching in 1998, do some math there. So I started teaching in 1998, a very different experience in schools. My kids then started school in 2009, somewhere in there, very different experience. I do believe as a high school, we are constantly trying to figure out how do we meet the needs of our kids, But also some of it is how do we meet the needs of our communities around us. And some of that is figuring out what type of programming can we put in place. We still have all of the very traditional core classes and required classes that students need to have in order to earn a diploma. In addition, we have many, many different advanced placement classes where kids can get high school credit as well as college credit. And something that will come with our renovation that I'm very excited for is there's some programming that we will offer here at Mount Westonka High School that the high majority of schools in this state do not offer. And a big piece of that is because of the community support that we have through this referendum. One of the things that we're going to be able to offer, we're going to have a medical professionals wing in which students will be able to get EMR, so emergency management certified, EMT certified, and certified nursing certified. And those are careers that could, or examples that could feed into any type of career that students might be connected to in the medical field. And they can also get really good paying jobs while they're in high school and while they're in the early years of college. So we're actually looking at creating wonderful programming where students will get to have that experience and walk out of here with high school credit, but also certification. And a really good sense for, is this something that I might be interested in working in? We have different partners in the community that students will be able to go out to those different settings and actually test some of those skills and get a feel for what it's like. Really excited to offer machining and manufacturing programs. If you have children that are thinking, and your kids are really early, but as a parent, if you're thinking, maybe my kid someday might want to explore engineering or something along that field, there's amazing opportunities that will come with that. And again, strong partnerships. Last winter, we sent just a message out in our newsletter to say anyone that works within engineering, machining, manufacturing, if you'd like to come, we'd love to hear your feedback as we start to create this. And we had over 24 community members that work in one of these industries come and say, we'll devote hours to spend with you to give you feedback about what we are looking for in the community. So great community connections. And then finally also making sure that we are offering some construction trades. So these are some of the new programs while we continue to move forward all of the other programming that we have within the building. So very excited for those. And really excited that we will be able to offer this where a lot of high schools, they're not even thinking about this type of programming. But it'll be a phenomenal experience for our students. So before I hand it over, so I will share, this is my 26th year in education. So as a social studies teacher for 10 years, loved it, absolutely loved it. Then moved into administration, and I spent most of that time at a different district. So this is my 3rd year here at Mount Westonka High School. And prior to coming here, I was at a school district, and I want to be clear, I loved the school district. My kids went there, I taught there, I went into administration, very passionate about it. But it was a much larger district. And I'll share with you that when I started teaching there, it was actually very similar to the size of what our school is here. And then because of growth in the area, it expanded considerably. And I just saw the difference that occurs when all of a sudden you move from 1,000 kids in the building to 1,500 kids in the building to 2,000 kids in the building. When I left my previous district, we had 2,250 kids that were in the building. And you start to feel that disconnect because it's just so large. And coming here, when I saw this position open up, I did some research because I researched these guys. They were researching me too, so it was a fair move. But did a lot of research just about this community and about this school. And as I've been here now for 3 years, I am incredibly proud and happy to be here and just see all of that small school advantage occur on a daily basis. See when the kids walk in, people know them by names. It's not just opening the door and saying good morning. We know them by their names. And we get to know you as parents also, which is a fantastic partnership, and I very much appreciate that. So I haven't been here. My kids didn't go here. I couldn't convince them in their senior and junior year of high school to make a shift. That would have been a bad family move. My husband probably wouldn't have appreciated that either. But I feel very passionate about that small school advantage, and really proud to stand up here and share some of these other pieces with you, that many schools that are much larger than us or different than us they don't have a chance of offering those opportunities. So really, really proud to share that. And remember, high school's still fun.
Now, I wasn't going to talk about this, but they wanted to disclose it. Mike and Scott got 10 minutes, they won 10 minutes. Christy, I said 5 minutes, went 10 minutes, and Jolene said 2 minutes, 10 minutes. So you all know the method to the madness. You have to know how they operate. The goal was they had 30 minutes and it worked out perfect. And now we're at this point, keeping you on time. And so what our goal here today was to give you an introduction. You're gonna wanna follow up. We're gonna offer a time outside here where there's Q&A, and I'm gonna tell you who's all gonna be available for questions. But there's also information nights, there's roundups, different ways that you can really engage in these programs. So each building has those. One thing that I wanted to point out is, as I'm really, really proud of this group, we have other people that are with us tonight that I wanted, so if you see them out there, you can ask them questions. Our school board chair, Gary Woolner. Gary, can you stand, please? Gary is the type of board chair that, one, his kids, his grandkids have gone through here. He's been on the board. Gary, how many years have you been on the board?
15 right now.
15 years, but he's very, very dedicated to that role. And if you have questions from a school district board level, he'll be out there for questions. We have Scott Laka. Scott, can you stand up? Scott is our Director of Community Education, which is Adventure Club, it's preschool, it's adult program, youth enrichment, a lot of different programming. Scott and his wife both work here, their child goes through, you're gonna hear a commonality of it, but he's a big part of what we do. Excited that Jeff Peterson, our Activities Director, is here. Jeff, can you raise your hand? So Jolene highlighted all the sports and the activities that are going on. Jeff is another example, been here a really long time. Kids went through this system. Really proud of his efforts. And then we have Dr. Russman, Emily Russman here. She's our Director of Special Services. And so if you have any questions with that, Emily's been here a long time and has done a lot of amazing work with our kids. And so my team that you just were introduced here, we're all just going to be standing outside the little theater. So if you have any specific questions that you want to hear more about high school, more about primary, if you want to hear it from the district level, if you want to hear about special services, we're all going to be willing to engage with you for as long as you would need. But our goal again here was an introduction. We wanted to keep this on time, and we're doing a good job of that. But thank you so much for learning more about Westonka. We're really proud of our school district. We're really proud of our community, and we'd be excited to have you. So thank you for your time tonight.